Hello, fellow Jeep lovers. This is Dale, and I want to thank you for joining me today. Well, if you're like me, you love your Jeep. But there are also things about your Jeep that drive you crazy. I mean, really some things that you love to hate. One of the big things that has bothered me for some time are the sagging nets on the doors. Really, they're useless. And if you put anything in them, then you can't close the door because it's hanging down below the door threshold. So I've been on the lookout for something that would take the place of that net and maybe look a little bit better as well. And I came across a company called Overland Outfitters. They have come out with a really nice pocket system that is made out of leather and a really heavy-duty canvas, and it's really nice. It looks good, very functional. And so I'm going to give you some pointers today. I've already installed the one on the driver's door, made a few mistakes, learned a lot, and I thought I'd just give you a little help today, and we'll do the one together on the passenger side. So bear with me, and we'll get started and see what we can do. Okay, so there's the culprit. So the instructions tell you that you have to remove the lower portion of the door panel. That's partially true, and really I've found that you really need to remove more than that to get the pocket on, because what it does is it has a pocket that slips in behind that door panel and has to fit over the pins that lock the door panel in place. So in order to do that, you really need to pull the whole thing off. So well, you don't have to pull it completely off, but you have to take a little bit more of it off than what they tell you do. So to get started, probably the first thing we need to do, there are two Torx 25T screws right down here. And we need to go ahead and get those off. Here's one. Put it in a safe place. And two right here. Now the next thing you need to do is take your trim removal tool and take this trim piece out here. Now it looks like these screws or these hex head bolts would be what holds it in there, but they're just decorative. They would unscrew, but they're not what holds it in place. So find a place that's not going to damage your door and just gently pry that out. And here you go. Pretty simple. Now what you'll find behind here are two Phillips screws that need to come out. So pull those out. Now you're going to need to take a couple of screws out, or at least one screw out here. And in order to do that, you need to get in here, take your finger, and grab this little tab and just pull this out. Now, there are two pieces of plastic that sandwich together. You want to grab the first one and not both of them, because you can't get it to come out there. So be sure and just grab this one little piece here and just pull on it. It pops right out. Now the upper screw is really the only one that does anything to hold the door panel on. So you want to go ahead, and again, it's a T25. All right. There's a larger screw down here, but really all it does is holds the door actuator on, so you don't really need to take that one off. So you have that off, then you need to take your pry tool again, and I believe come right in here. Let's see if you can pop this out. Can't remember. One of them has ears that kind of sticks in and the other one doesn't. There we go. All right. So you'll want to pop this in, because these little ears right here, if you try to pull it off there, they're going to break off. So anyway, pretty easy. Now, the next thing you do is you just take your pry tool, get down under here, and pull. And it's going to sound like you're tearing up your door, but you're not. There you go. All right. There's really no need to take it all the way off. You could if you need to, but I wouldn't. So back behind here, let's see if I can show you. Back behind the door panel are plastic tabs that just push in, and they're pretty tough, but they can pull out, so you need to be careful and make sure that they're all still in there. But what you're going to do is you're going to fit that pocket of the door pocket up through there, and there's some holes that fit around these pins. So bear with me and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so this part of the pocket is what slips over the door panel. This part is going to be behind the door panel, and this is, of course, is what's going to be what you see on the front. But these are the holes that I was talking about that have to go, those pins that go through that hold the door panel on have to go through these holes. So I found the other side to be a little bit tight, and you have to do a whole lot of pulling and tugging, but you can get it on there. And it also has some little Velcro pads that are self-stick if you want to use those. I did, but I went ahead also and put screws in the holes here to hold it on, because I don't think the Velcro is going to hold it all that well. So anyway, here we go. Let's get it on there. Okay. This is truly the hard part. And I'm not going to lie, it's tight. Does not want to exactly do what you want it to do. So really wouldn't hurt to have another set of hands, but you can do it by yourself. It just takes some time. All right. And a bit of fair warning too, if you push too hard on it, the door panel is going to pop up out of here. Doesn't hurt anything, but you have to fit it back in the track. Okay, I think they're all in. Again, it's really tight. I found if you take a pair of pliers and kind of pull up on it here, you can get it up a little bit better. And while you've got it there, you may want to go ahead and put a screw in, because I promise you it won't stay there. So you use a 1/16 drill bit and go ahead and just drill a little pilot hole. They send you some little black screws. Okay, maybe. There we go. Okay, I went ahead and drilled the pilot holes for these little screws and put those in. The next step is to put your door panel back on. And so really all you need to do is just push it back on and make sure those clips lock into place. And because this has got something behind it, it doesn't really won't go back in quite as good, but it will. So just be patient and get it back on there. Okay, now if you remember the 2 screws that we took out down here, there's some little cutouts in the canvas that are supposed to line up, but they didn't on the other side, and they don't on this side either. So you're just going to have to use your finger and feel the indentation in the plastic where the screw goes in, and run a screw in. Go ahead and use an awl or something to find where the screw hole is, because it does go into a nylock nut, and so you're just going to have to kind of fish that in there. But it is important. You do need to get those back on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll go from there. Okay. This one over by the door catch is not so hard because its hole nearly lines up, but it just doesn't. So you kind of have to use your fingers, guess where the hole is, use an awl and punch through there. Okay. Lucky guess, I found it. So if you'll remember, that was one of the Torx screws. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it in. Okay, I think I lucked out. Remember, on all of these that are going into plastic, don't over tighten them, because you will strip them out. Even the nylon will strip out if you're not careful. Okay, we're just going to do the same thing with the bottom one down here, and it's not even close to the hole, so there we go. All right, that one was nearly up into the leather pocket, so it's not going to be easy to get in. But believe it or not, it went in. So, okay. All right. Now all that's left are to put your 2 screws back in here. Go ahead and put your door surround, your handle surround piece on there, and the screw back in it, and we'll get it all back together. So, I believe these were Phillips screws that went in here. There's one, there's the other one. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is put the door handle surround back on. And in order to do that, all we do is, remember these little tabs right here? We need to pull this out, thread it through, stick the little tabs in first, and then just snap this back in there. Pretty easy. There is the Torx 25T screw that goes right back in here. And that does hold that surround on, so it's pretty important. All right. And then this little piece that goes right back in there. Super easy, just line it up, and pop it in. There we go. All right, so there you have it. The Overland Outfitters net hider. It it looks a whole lot better, I think, and is going to be a whole lot more functional. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned something, and I hope this made it a little bit easier, and we got rid of that ugly net. So thanks again. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.